welcome to the Toffee Blues Extra Show, midweek extra show, your midweek extra source of all things Everton. Welcome to the show. Again, I've got Paul McAllister with me. Welcome, Paul. And we're going to talk about the rumours linking Roberto Martinez to Madrid, because I think we can call it a little bit more than rumours now. It's widespread in the media, and the Belgian FA, I think I'm right in saying that the Belgian FA have came out and spoke about it to the press. So there is something. There's something behind these rumours. And what do you think of it, Paul? What do you make of these rumours?
They were out of left field, aren't they? I think it just goes to show that there's not a lot of strong candidates around right now, is there? Because if those, I've got to believe that when they sacked Lopetegui, that Martinez wasn't the name that was jumping out of everyone's mouths. It sounds like they've had a talk to Conte and have decided that Conte's not really their cup of tea. Who else is there? A couple of other managers who you'd think they'd like back. Ancelotti's tied up at Napoli. I'm sure they'd have him back if they could have him. Klopp and Pochettino are both tied down to Tottenham and Liverpool, respectively. I know they're talking about Mourinho as well, but I think that would be a massive backward step if they go back to Mourinho. So it kind of just seems like they're looking for a flavour of the month type managers, and that's pretty much what this is. They're coming off a good World Cup, and he's just kind of got his name in the headlights. Or he's got his name in the lights, in the headlines rather, because he's kind of he's coached a lot of big players to big performances in the World Cup. But what I'm saying is, a bit achievement-wise, does he deserve to have his name linked for such a massive job like that? No, of course he doesn't. I mean, what's on his CV when you really think about it? He's got an FA Cup. Okay, fair play to him. You can't ever take that off. There's a lot of really good managers who've never won cups in their careers, and he's won one, so fair play to him. But there's also a relegation. There's also 2 bottom half finishers with a 25 goal a season striker leading his line. There's Swansea. He did very well at Swansea, but he didn't really stick around at Swansea for too long, did he? He didn't exactly do what Eddie Howe's done at Bournemouth. He kind of had a couple of years there, and then he kind of moved on and let someone else get all the glory in the form of Brendan Rodgers. And since he's gone to the World Cup, he's got to a semi-final with a team that, on paper, you'd think would probably be the favourites to win it.
Definitely.
So, Martinez, I'm quite shocked that he's getting linked with this in a way, but I'm also not shocked, because there always seems to be managers who at international tournaments kind of do well for themselves and end up scoring a big job of it. So it's not shocking in that sense, but does someone of Roberto Martinez's calibre deserve a massive, massive job like that? Probably the biggest job in football? No, of course he doesn't.
It's crazy, isn't it? I think I've said a lot about him in the past. I do think he's a cup manager. I know he led us to that high place finish in his first season, and that was quality. But I do think he's more of a cup manager. He likes to treat every game as a cup final kind of thing. He's a very positive manager, as we know. He almost too positive at times. He liked to dress things up, and it done everyone's heads in the end. The way he was so positive, and he just, even if he got beat 3-1, he'd be like, oh yeah, the goal was great, and the players performed really well. He's the type of manager you just want for. I think he was at his best with international management, to be honest. I think that was his forte. I think in international management, he found the job that was right for him. It was a decent job to get, the Belgian manager's job, with the golden generation that they have, all the quality players. Any manager would have loved that job. You're going into a World Cup with some of the best players in the world, really. And I think he did really well, to be fair, with Thierry Henry. But I just think he found what he's good at, so why doesn't he stick at it? And he's very lucky to be linked with this job, because club management is very, very different to international management, in my opinion, anyway. And in terms of his achievements at club management, I know apart from Everton, obviously, he's never really managed a big club. So to be linked with Real Madrid, I just think there's no one else really available. So that's why I think he's been linked with them.
Yeah. But if looking at it from Real Madrid's side, I think what are they really after? Are they just after a stopgap manager who'll just kind of keep the boat in the water until the end of the season, and then he can go again and look for another big name, and hopefully there'll be one available? Or do you want to just kind of start the rebuilding process now, right in the middle of his season? So I think if you want a stopgap, then I think you're probably better sticking with what they've got, Solari.
Yeah.
But if they want to kind of start the new dynasty, the new era right now, then I mean, I've just said it, I don't think Roberto Martinez is the man for that job, but I think a manager of his age and his experience, and at the stage of his career that he's at, would be the sort of right approach to go for a manager who's kind of in that part of his career. But one thing I'll say about Martinez, touching on what you said, I think he's found something he's good at, and I think he'd be very, very silly to leave it now, because I can't think of many managers over the past 20, 30 years who've took the Real Madrid job and then left the Real Madrid job with their stock higher than it was when they first joined. How many managers just get their reputations shredded by that because they can't deliver crazy expectations? I think Zidane is obviously an exception. Maybe Ancelotti as well. He picked up a European Cup with them, but how many other managers have they had where they just kind of chase them out the door and then they struggle to build the reputations back up? I mean, who've they had recently? They had Mourinho. He went to Real Madrid, and I wouldn't say he did badly, but he didn't do what they wanted him to do, and he kind of had to basically come back to England for the Chelsea job because it was available. I mean, he didn't take too much of a hit, obviously. He walked straight into another job, but he went into the Real Madrid job as probably the best manager in Europe after winning the treble with Inter Milan, and then he kind of had to come back to Chelsea to kind of prove himself all over again. And who else have they had? They had, I believe, Fabio Capello. Yeah. Was another one they've had in the last 10 years. Capello was that Capello's last club job?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Capello had that. Yeah, Capello had that and kind of didn't do much either, and then basically just had to go into international management. So when you go into international management at his age in his 60s, it's basically semi-retirement, isn't it? They had Pellegrini as well, same thing, didn't really manage much. So if you're Roberto Martinez, you're looking at it thinking, do I really want to go for that now? I know it's a massive club with prestige, but do I want to go to that job now and probably not achieve what they want me to achieve? Or there's no way he can match what Zidane's just done, is there? So he'll come out to that Real Madrid job, and I think it's very unlikely he'll come out to that Real Madrid job with loads of other Champions League level clubs knocking on his door demanding that they can have him. I think if he's going there, he's just setting himself up to fail because it's just such an impossible job to do successfully.
Definitely, it's a massive risk, isn't it? It reminds me of David Moyes at Man United, to be honest. It's one of them where it's the job of your career. It's a massive opportunity, but with that, it comes a massive risk of jeopardising your whole career, really. So I just think it is a massive risk. Yeah. But I think that one of the main reasons why he's been linked with them is attacking style, because obviously, like, people say La Liga isn't the best quality apart from the top clubs. I just think the quality is decent, but obviously Madrid want an attacking manager, and that's exactly what Martinez is. So I assume that's why they've linked with him. But I personally think Arsene Wenger would be a better suit myself, and I think he's recently agreed a deal with AC Milan just coming through recently, I think. But I would have thought he'd be a better option than Martinez anyway, but it's an interesting one. But
yeah, one thing I'll say about Martinez as well, I mean, I make no secret of the fact that I don't really have a lot of time for him in terms of, as I said, his management ability. I don't really think there was much there as people made out. But one thing I'll say is, if he takes that Real Madrid job, I think it would say a lot about him as a person, in the sense that he's meant to be a proud Catalan. He's from the Johan Cruyff, Pep Guardiola school of football. He's a disciple of that style. As I said, he's a very proud Catalonian, to the point where whenever he's referred to in like newspaper articles, especially when he was at Everton as well, he was always asked to be referred to in, publications as a Catalan, not a Spaniard. He doesn't like being referred to as a Spaniard. So if a proud Catalan like him goes to join Real Madrid, and again, I know it's a massive club, probably the biggest club. It's such prestige and such a thing to have on your CV. But if you're willing to kind of just throw away your own identity and your own principles, as he likes to bark on about, to go and just manage a club like Real Madrid, who are kind of the opposite of what everything you say you believe in, I think that would kind of, I'd lose even more time for him as as a bloke. He did that. It would be like me or you going to managing Tory FC. Do you know what I'm coming from with that? So if Martinez gets offered that job and says no to it, I'd think a lot more of him as a person, because I think it would take a lot of guts to say no to the Real Madrid job, and say no to it not just from a footballing point of view, career point of view, but also from kind of like a conscience point of view, because I think he'd be making life very difficult for himself and life very difficult for his family back in Catalonia if he took a job like that. So I'm hoping that's kind of on his brain if and it's something he really thinks about if he does get the phone call and asks to come in.
I completely agree with you, especially at a time where the friction between Catalonia and Spain is rife at the moment. I know with the vote last year, I think it was last year this week, about the big vote where Catalan people were arrested for an uprising against the state, and for Martinez to just completely contradict himself and go to the enemy as such would be a controversial move, wouldn't it? Definitely. And I do think, as you say, it would make life difficult for him personally above his career, and he's got to put that above his career, really, hasn't he? His personal life, and
I think so.
Yeah, definitely. But
someone like Guardiola, even if he was on the bones of his arse, do you know what I mean? If let's just say he got sacked from 3 straight clubs and he somehow got offered the Real Madrid job, I don't think he'd take it.
He'd never take that job.
No, he'd never take it, no matter what, no matter how much money they offered him or how much of a state his career was in. He'd never take that, and I don't think people like if he was alive, Johan Cruyff would take that, or if he ever becomes a manager, I don't think someone like Messi would ever take that, or Iniesta would take that. So I think for a Catalonian to take that job, to really consider taking that job, I think that makes me not have a lot of respect for them personally. So overall, I think I'm not too shocked that he's getting linked with it. I definitely don't think he deserves to be linked with it from a career point of view, but I don't think he should take it. 1, because he's probably setting himself up for a massive fall, and 2, because it would just, as we said, it would go against everything he claims to believe in, and I'd like to think that Martinez is not as false as that. Definitely,
I completely agree. I think Pep Guardiola would probably rather take the Accrington Stanley job than he would Real Madrid, in all honesty. But we'll wrap it up there anyway. It's been interesting. That was an interesting segment about Martinez, So I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Give us a follow, give Paul a follow. His Twitter handle is below his picture, P_McAllister123, and also myself, Tom Clark 40, my handle's below as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment and subscribe to the Toffee Blues on YouTube. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.